Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another Premier Division show. Delighted once again to welcome JP back on. JP, what's the crack? Are you well?
Aye, all good.
Good stuff. We'll start off at Weavers Park. Why not? To finish Drogheda United 2, Derry City 2. Drogheda's second consecutive 2-0 draw at home. 4 draws in a row. Derry still haven't won away from home, JP, this season. Warren Davis gave Drogheda the lead after 3 minutes. Michael Duffy equalised in 29, Patchin with another tap in right on half time. And Pirro with a late equaliser in 87 minutes. Do you consider it points dropped for Derry City?
I think you have to keep from being 2-1 up and into the last 4 or 5 minutes. Very similar to the away game at Shamrock Rovers. 2-1 up in that as well and conceded deep on the stoppage time.
Mm,
Considering how they started off, conceded a goal with what was I think was the first attack of the game. But they
yeah.
recovered well and deservedly went in front at half time. Could have been gone in with a couple more goals and um, certainly should have put the game to bed. That they did. I don't think we created enough in the second half. They do that. I know we hit the post with Danny Mullen. If that goes in, it's probably game over. But you have to give credit to Drogheda. They made a substitution at half time and went. They lost their two starting fullbacks in the first half,
Mm,
the injury, and they went in, made a substitution at half time, and went five at the back or three at the back, whatever way you want to look at it, and pushed up and squeezed the space that Derry were afforded in the first half, especially Will Patchen. Because the guys in commentary were talking about the amount of time they were giving Patchen, and they're saying there was only going to be one outcome if they allowed that. You seen what he did in the stroke of half time. But it was not only that, he was finding passes through a knife and needle and creating different chances, etc. And Derry look will be disappointed that they didn't come away from Weavers Park with all 3 points. It is 5 away games now. I think 4 draws and one
mm.
defeat, which is disappointing. I would expect that they would have at least one away one by this stage of the season, but I think at one point in the game, Rory took off an attacking player and put on Shane McLoney, and quite similar to what we did down in Shamrock Rovers. Took off an attacking player and put on a defender. And it ultimately cost us. And you look at it, it's 2 away games where you were 2-1 up and concede late on. It's cost you 4 points. And when you look at the table, you're only 5 points behind, and it has been quite significant at this stage. But um, not going to get too down on it. 10 games into the season, there is a lot of time they retrieve it, and from minute I say 10 to minute 45, you see how Derry can play. And if they can put a performance together like that for say 70, 75 minutes, there's no reason why they can't go on a, a string of 5, 6 wins in a row. But look, all full credit to Drogheda. I think Kevin Doherty said in his after match interview that 2-2 draw last week felt like a defeat, and a 2-2 draw this week feels like a win. And look, the way they played in the second half, you can't deny them.
Yeah, it's funny how context plays into draws, isn't it? It really depends. You get a late equaliser or whatever, or you concede a late goal yourself. But I suppose from their point of view, the fact that obviously Pirro getting his first goal for the club was actually a nice finish. Connor Kane does really well. Actually, I think he beats Shane McElhenney to the ball. It was really brave, I thought, and obviously Markey sets up the chance. Really good finish from Pirro and a significant goal for him to get as his first goal. But you're right, from their point of view in the first half, to lose Weir and Andrew Quinn, after 20 and 30 minutes is a blow, isn't it? To lose your two full backs. And Connor Kane came on initially and played right back. But you're right, they changed at half time. They went to a wing back system. McNally in the right, Kane the left. Webster came on. I think that's his first appearance for Drogheda, by the way. And they went three at the back. And as you said, it did change a bit in the second half. But um, that's down to what Doherty done, but it's also down to what Rory Higgins done probably as well, to
Yeah,
be honest with you. So
Derry,
it was a bit of both, wasn't it, in that sense?
yeah, I don't think Derry came out the same team. They didn't come out with the same I'm not going to say same attitude, but they
Same
didn't come out with
gusto or something like.
the same ambition
Mm.
going forward. As I say, they did have that chance where Danny Mullen hit the post with a header. Um, but they did, aside from that, I don't really remember anything that we created in the second half, and we just, as the minutes went on, we just seemed to drop deeper and deeper,
Mm.
and you're just wanting the defense to push up and push the midfield up and just squeeze the space Drogheda had the way they squeezed us. And um, look, I know Evan Weir went off. I think Andrew Quinn's was is it Andrew Quinn you call him?
Andrew
His
Quinn. Yeah.
his injury was a muscle injury, but I think
Mm.
Evan Weir's was an impact injury. I think the referee had stopped the play and Ronan Boyce, yeah, he put his foot out, but they said in commentary as well there was no need for Evan Weir to strike through the ball the way he did because the whistle had long gone,
Mm.
and it'd be a big blow for Drogheda if them two are out. But look, they
Mm.
had two very well capable replacements coming in, and then they had Dave Webster as well, who's very experienced throughout the league. Um, they will be happy with this. It was 4 draws in a row for them.
Yeah.
Um,
And three of them against like Shelbourne, Pats, and Derry City, like, so
they are a hard team to
yeah,
beat,
yeah,
especially with
so
Rovers Park. They will grind out these type of
yeah.
results season goes on, but I think Kevin Doherty will be wanting they turn these draws into ones. They get them away from the bottom of the table
Mm.
because I think at one point last week when they were 2-1 up against Shelbourne, they were heading 6 points clear of Dundalk, and it just shows you how it can swing around in just a moment. Like because at one stage Derry were going within 3 points of the top of the table, and at the end of the night they're within five.
Mm.
But it's early days. I think they've been looking at league tables, and I'm not going to say early days, but I think
Mm.
you can't uh you can't get too downhearted with a 5 point deficit at this stage, but Drogheda won't they won't get uh too worried about what's happening in front of them because I think they'll trust in their own ability, and I think the wins will start coming for Drogheda eventually.
Yeah, for them is to try and beat the teams kind of in and around them as well. But I think the startling thing for me, looking at it, obviously some teams play 9 games, but in general, Derry are second in the league after 10 games, right? And they've won 4 matches out of 10. That shows
Mm.
how inconsistent teams are in this league.
I mean, Rory
That's
Hickey
crazy when you think about it, isn't it?
was the ball man, the aftermath, and he wants Derry now to start putting together consistency. But I think that sometimes I don't think you can completely lay that at the players' doors. I think that's a
Mm.
collective issue. Like I think um he'll know himself basically that to be consistent you need to be on it
Mm.
for more than half an hour in a game, and I'm sure he'll be drilling that into his players going forward because it is a big week now coming up. Shamrock Rovers on Friday and some Pats on Monday. So look, if he can somehow not going to say mastermind, but if he can come out of them 2 games with another 4 points or maybe six, um, the season it could completely look differently. As you say, Drogheda they'll be looking they beat the teams around them, like Dundalk and whoever else down there, and pick up points against Derry, St Pat's, and Shelbourne, and I think they've got Rovers coming up as well, haven't
They
they?
have away
And
from home. That's their game in hand, as such. Yeah,
look, I think they went to Tala last week or last year and won,
they
and
did.
I wouldn't put it past them to go there and get a result again because they are a really difficult team, and I don't think they get the credit that they sometimes deserve,
Mm.
um, because they're really well organized, and um, they're not just a really well organized team; they're a good football team too when they get the ball down, and
Mm.
and they can hurt you um in different ways.
Absolutely, yeah. Speaking about inconsistencies at Oriel Park, Dundalk nil, St Patrick's Athletic nil, and I suppose the startling thing from Dundalk's perspective here is that first time in their history they've gone 5 games without scoring at home. Now, in this particular game, a point is okay in that sense, but just as a general thing there. 5 games without a goal at Oriel Park is actually incredible. And in this particular game, they probably were a little bit better than they have been in recent weeks, as I kind of personally expected. Just when a manager gets sacked, that happens, But again, at the same time, they still created very little chances. JP, it's a big problem for them. Their best chance is probably a Robbie Benson shot from 30 yards, which he strikes well, by the way. Benson was actually really. I watched the game back. Benson was really good in this game. To be fair, he really drove them on again. He's if you can get him fit for a consistent time, he is a very good midfield player. But apart from that, Pats. I wouldn't say Pats are at their best. I don't think they really went for the juggler. That said, the best chances of the game kind of fell for Pats. If I'm honest, Connor Keeley with a header. Obviously, Mason Mealy missed an absolutely great chance, didn't he, as well? And Mulroney hit the post. I don't think that was shown in the highlights, by the way. And Forrest had a chance save too. An awful lot not showing the highlights from a Pat's point of view, if I'm honest with you. The Keeley header and the Mulroney one that hit the post. But look, Pats are unbeaten in 4. It's a better start than what they had. But I suppose on the back of beating Shamrock Rovers at home, little bit disappointing maybe they didn't. All they needed in this game was probably a goal, to be honest with you, JP, to win the football match. So that's probably disappointing that they didn't get that goal. But as I said, for Dundalk, it's a point. Look, they have to look at positives because they really don't have a choice. They've only scored 3 goals in 9 games, though. But they have to look at positives. But you mentioned Drogheda previously there, with the way they're capable of getting results, etc. Have to start getting results soon. I don't know where they're going to go managerial-wise either. I've no idea. There's very little rumours. I know people are saying McLaughlin was linked and Rice, but I think they're very flippant links, if I'm honest with you, at this minute in time. Anyway, it could be wrong. But look, they'd be happy with the performance, relatively happy with the result, but they're probably thinking where the goals are going to come from. Pats, as I said, a little bit disappointing to draw here, I think, probably.
I think it's a disappointing result, yeah, for some Pats. I think you kind of predicted it, and the build-up show for this week. It wouldn't surprise you if some Pats went up here and didn't win after beating Shamrock Rovers.
Mm.
And you said it about the sacked manager bouncing, and Dundalk seem to get it, and the way Bohemians did against Derry.
Mm.
But as you say, if some Pats had scored in that game, they probably would have ran out comfortable winners. Was it similar in the game against Derry in the week before?
I think you're right. If Dundalk concede an early-ish goal, even in the first half, they tend to struggle after that big time, don't they?
Derry scored when they were on top and
Yeah,
cruised through the rest of the game, basically, especially the early goal in the second half just allowed them that wee bit of a comfort and a settler. They maybe just knock it about and be comfortable. And I think that's when the inexperienced players come in. They play for Dundalk because they're maybe not. They don't know maybe how they deal with setbacks like that. And that's when the likes of Robbie Benson and Darrell Horgan will be called upon. Like you said, he was trying to he was trying to drive them forward in this game, and anything that they were going to do was going to be through him. And
yeah.
I think that's what they lacked against Derry, even though he was there. But he didn't get on the ball enough for me, or I think he picked up a silly yellow card, which impacted it the way he was able to play that game against Derry. But look, 5 home games without a goal doesn't look great. They don't seem to be creating anything. And anything they do seem to create comes from set pieces. And we talked about Drogheda there. You're confident that they're going to end the game, that they could maybe get something from it. You don't get that feeling from Dundalk that they're going to a game and potentially maybe coming away with something. Like, I think going back to the start of the season, the first game, because I looked at the score and I think I predicted them to get bit 5-0 or something like that, and they ended up getting a point. And it's things like that you don't think that may happen, and if it happens, you're surprised. Where Drogheda are the complete opposite, that you think it could happen. If it happens, you're not surprised. But in terms of where they go managerial wise, I don't know. I think the likes of Paddy McLaughlin or Stephen Rice, I think that's probably ambitious appointments. I don't
Mm.
think it's a kind of an appointment that either of them would would take.
I
Because
do have a weird feeling they're going to go abroad, though. I just have a weird feeling, take a chance abroad.
yeah,
Could be wrong.
I think that's probably what they will do is maybe go happen to England or Scotland or for someday there.
Bring back
And then
Giovanni.
I was just about to say that we've seen where the Americans went for him, and it was something different.
Mm,
And we look forward to that appointment because it was maybe somebody bringing something different to
mm.
the league rather than the merry-go-round that we usually see. Um, for Pats, they will be disappointed, but look, they'll see it as four unbeaten, and it's a point for them. And it could be a very valuable point come the end of the
It all
season.
depends.
But
I often think sometimes these draws and that it depends how you do in your next game, how if it's an all right result or not. If you go and win your next game, then you kind of go, all right, five unbeaten, you've won three, drawn two. But if you don't go and win your next game, then it's kind of like, geez, that was poor points possibly dropped at Oriel, let's say. You know,
Yeah,
it really depends on their next game for me.
yeah, and that'll be.
is it Shelbourne they play? Is it no
It's Waterford, actually. Yeah,
Waterford?
at home.
Uh, and, and we've seen that they've lost against Waterford already this season,
Mm.
so they'll be looking to put that right. And especially being at home to Waterford, they'd be expected they take a game to them. And I think John Daly seems to have turned something around that just wasn't there in the first 4 or 5 games. And um, it'll be interesting to see how St. Pat's react to this draw.
Absolutely. We'll go on to Waterford actually, who drew 0-0 at the RC against Galway United. A late red card for Ryan Burke in that game, but by all accounts, pretty poor game. But Waterford apparently had most of the possession in the match, but Galway probably had the best chance of the match. Stephen Walsh had a good opportunity, saved by Sam Sargent. But you know, we've talked about how Galway and Caulfield was disappointed with the performance at home to Bohemians. So there was a feeling that they could nick something from the game. I have a feeling he probably thought, went back to basics, make sure we get something out of this match. And to Waterford's frustration, they certainly did get something, a point. Not that a point is terrible for Waterford either, if I'm honest with you, but um, I felt like by hook or by crook, Galway would get something out of this game. They obviously come away with a 0-0 draw, which Caulfield is probably delighted with.
I being an ex-Cork manager, he will be delighted to get something
No
from
Bastard
Waterford.
Gary playing for Waterford in this game, though.
No, no, I remember that.
Yeah.
Um, but look, Galway, they're they're a bit like Drogheda, aren't they? They're going to be difficult to beat home or away this season, and they're
They've
you
only
wouldn't be surprised.
conceded 6 goals. It's great.
It
They've the
just
best defensive record in the league. Okay, they've only scored 5 goals. Fair enough, but they are a promoted team, so to have that record still, it's good. It's good.
as I said about Drogheda being a well or they're not just a well organized team, they're a good footballing team, and I
Mm.
think you could say that Galway are a well organized team.
I think, to be
Cork,
honest, JP, I think
Cork
they're
as well
fairly
is
limited. Their squad is limited, in my opinion. I think arguably, apart from Dundalk, in my opinion, they probably have the second worst squad player wise in the league, and that's not a criticism. It's the
they're just like they're just playing to their strengths
yeah,
is what they're doing, and
exactly.
they know they get the ball down or attack, and they're going to get picked off at the other
Mm,
end, and they just have to make themselves hard to beat.
mm,
Um, Especially over the first parts of the season, give themselves a platform to
mm,
build upon, and maybe get into the July window and maybe add a wee bit of a attacking threat or better quality.
mm.
They give them that extra push. But look, we have seen in the past with John Caulfield at Cork. I don't I don't think his football
Mm.
was ever pretty. It was never on the um
You just have better players at Cork
yeah,
generally.
yeah,
Yeah.
he had better players at Cork that he was able to um execute it better, get more better results, and
Mm.
um we talk about Shamrock Rovers now and Dundalk under Stephen Kenny and how good football teams were, but Cork were a different
I
kind of
actually
team.
like it. I know it annoys people, but I like it because I don't like every team to try and play the same way, if you know what I mean. I welcome that
It
kind of
becomes
old
hard. It
fashioned,
becomes
throw
starkly
it into the box, physical. I like that as well. Like it's something, you know what I mean?
it
Like,
becomes starkly predictable.
mm,
Whenever every team's playing the same tactics and
yeah.
you work one and all right, you cancel one all right. And
Mm,
you just basically you play to your strengths, especially if the team you're playing is a better team than you,
mm,
better squad than you, better individual players. You play to try and stop the better players from being able to do what they can do. You take the likes of Patson against Drogheda in the second half, switches up and stopped him dictating the play. And basically, that's what Galway did as well when they came to Brandywell. Was they stopped Derry getting the ball to Michael Duffy, and when they did get it, they made sure that there was maybe two, three men around them, and that's what Galway are going to do. Waterford, we have seen them play on the break, and that seems to be their strength is when teams come at them and then they turn the ball over and this type of game they were probably never going to do that because Galway were never going to come out
mm,
and play that type of game or allow them a chance where Galway get the ball was probably going to be, and there's no disrespect, I'm not
mm,
criticizing it, but it was probably going to be route one.
mm.
The way they did it to Brandywell, they went route one, and it ended up in a goal at the other end. And look, I think Galway are probably going to be the team out of these two. They're probably going to be the team that's going to be down there trying to avoid the relegation or the relegation playoff spot. And but with John Caulfield and Ollie Horgan there, I can see them maybe staying away from especially the bottom of the table. No, you could potentially look at it and say their squad maybe
Playoff,
on
yeah.
par with Dundalk or maybe slightly better, but even if it is
Mm.
not as good as Dundalk's, it's what they've got on the sideline.
They're well
We'll
coached.
we'll get them points. Um, and look,
Keith
they
Long, though, didn't seem to be that disappointed. I seen his interview after the game. There wasn't that much frustration. I think he's happy just, we won last week. We've got another point this week. I would have taken 4 points. I think he's thinking if we can just, you know, get some points every couple of weeks almost, that kind of way. Like he wasn't too distraught by the result, to be honest with you.
no, he'll be happy with that result. He'll take it. So he
Exactly. I
will
think he'll take it type thing, yeah.
take it. I think that they draw 0-0 up at him and Daisy Park as well earlier in the season.
No, they were actually
Uh,
beaten up there. It might have been 2-1, but they lost anyway. They definitely lost.
Yeah.
Mm.
but they'll take it because it's a point gain. As I said, after last week, when you're looking at the first 9 games, you take your next 9 and see can you better your points total. And when you take this particular fixture, um, Galway or Waterford have gained a point from that fixture going into the next 9 games. So um, I'm sure he'll use it, and it's up some Pats up next, and he knows he's got the better some Pats already this season. So he'll be getting his players up for that one.
Absolutely. North Dublin Derby, Shelbourne 1, Bohemians 2. And I'm just laughing because in the prediction show we were kind of saying we did feeling Bowles would get something out of the game. They got more than something though. They got the 3 points, didn't they? Shelbourne obviously still top of the league, first defeat of the season, but haven't won, and that's 3 games they haven't gone without winning basically. But Flores 37, a penalty. Flores on 41. Jarvis with I think his 5th goal in Dublin derbies this year from the penalty spot in 63. Massive win for Bowes. Another goal from a set piece. JP Bowles have scored as well,
Yeah,
interestingly enough. But Bowes, I thought were very good in this game. It's the best I've seen Bowes structurally play for an awful long time. An awful long time. I think they dominated the midfield. Shelbourne, the first 20 minutes, actually dominated the game, but they didn't really create an awful lot of chances, like where, the keeper was making any saves to hit the post or anything like that. But their intensity levels were good. Then the Bulls keeper goes down injured. Whether he was or not is another question. And it seemed to change after that. Shelbourne went a bit flat. Bowles started to come into the game. James Clark came into the game. Flores and McDonald started to dominate midfield. Akintunde was causing issue up front. Won a penalty. 1-0 Bowles. Flores from the spot. And 41 then, a couple of minutes later, it was 2-0 corner kick. I think it was Adam McDonald who played it in. And Flores peels around the back, scores a header, makes it 2-0. And suddenly Shells are 2 down at half time. They score a penalty in 63. Found Tyreek Wilson. And then I think a minute later, it could have been 2-2. And then after that, there was a shout for a penalty for Shelbourne. It was hard to see properly a couple of minutes later, I think. And in the last 20 minutes, though, it wasn't like Shelbourne were throwing... I never felt confident Shelbourne were going to go and get an equaliser. They weren't really throwing the kitchen sink. They had a lot of the ball. Bowles did make some good blocks and stuff like that. But it wasn't like, there's a goal, I can smell, I can feel a goal coming, like, you know, that kind of way. I wouldn't say Bowles were comfortable, but you never felt like Shells were going to get that equaliser. And ultimately, it's weird because Bowles could potentially go, obviously goal difference aside, but level on points with Derry if they beat Dundalk on Monday evening, which is incredible to think. And that shows the inconsistencies of the league. But look, from Bowles' point of view, great result, a great performance, as I said, overall. But like a lot of teams I've said, they kind of have to back that up now on the Monday against Dundalk, you know. But as for Shelbourne, look, Shelbourne have, after 10 games, to be, what are they, 5 points clear of Derry. They can't be too disappointed. The key for them, or the test for them, is now when you finally lose a game after going a long spell without losing, sometimes you lose another one very quickly. So it'll be interesting to see in the next few weeks how Shelbourne react to that.
Yeah, well, when they went on that 6-7 game winning streak, I think it was from the start of the season, we were saying it would be interesting to see how they react to when they next drop points, and
Yeah.
that came on Easter Monday against Derry.
Mm.
And then it happened again on Friday against the following Friday against Drogheda, and now
And it was a late equaliser, I remember, against Drogheda as well.
yeah, and deep on the stoppage time. So, and I think Derry had a chance in the game. They scored late on as well. So, look, Duff will not be worried. He knows they were probably not where they were going to be expected to be, and his aim this year again will probably be the better that fourth place spot, and maybe
yeah.
get into third, and then maybe next year then push for the challenge for the league title maybe. But if the challenge for the league title comes this year, they're not going to turn their nose up at it. So after 10 games, they'll be delighted to see themselves 5 points clear. But look, they'll know there's a long way to go. They can see Shamrock Rovers starting to put their wheels into motion, and that's what they'll be wary of, is they know that train's coming, and it's probably unlikely they stop the way it did last year. Like, it got going and it stopped, and and I think Rovers are potentially a different team this year.
I think the good thing for Shelbourne on the night as such was that Derry and Pats dropped points as well.
Yeah, if they get on a run, Shamrock Rovers this year, they could end up getting out of sight. And I think when I touched on there, Rory Higgins saying about we need to get consistency going. I think that's what he's weary of, is Shamrock Rovers get consistency, nobody will stop them, and you have to try and get your consistency to just stay with them, not just overtake them. And look, yeah, Shelbourne will be happy that Pats and Derry both drop points. But Duff, they'll know that there's a long way to go, and 5 points is only good enough whenever there's one game left, and the other team can't overtake you. So, yeah, look, Shelbourne will be more than delighted with their start. They will want to get back on the winning circle in the next couple of games, and not turn this run into a rut. And I think who have they got this week?
Travel to Galway. That will be a test.
That will be a test. I think Galway made it difficult for them, didn't they, in Polka Park, did they?
They did. Shelbourne nicked it 1-0, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Now that was I think Caulfield, I think, said he was disappointed to come away with nothing in that game.
Yeah.
It just shows you how well Galway maybe played that night. And and Shelbourne, look, they'll be going up there the Daisy Park, expecting a difficult task, and again they'll be looking to maybe nick it again either way, and just get they'll take anything just to get themselves back they winning ways, and I think with Derry playing Shamrock Rovers, they know one of them two teams, if not both, are going to drop points. So, and then I think they might play some Pats on Monday as well because of the European fixtures coming up. So, a huge opportunity for Shelbourne now in the next two games. They maybe open up an hour gap.
Yeah, that would be mental, actually, to be fair. Tallaght Stadium finished Shamrock Rovers 3, Sligo Rovers 0. Graham Burke in 36, his first of the season. Kraken finished 2. And the evergreen Aaron Green with 2 goals in 50 and 63 minutes for Shamrock Rovers to give them that win. And from Sligo Rovers' perspective, disappointing again, isn't it? Another bad defeat on the road. Pats a couple of weeks ago, Shamrock Rovers now. They've had a very good start overall. Suddenly now they're 6th in the league and 12 points. And one of the things I had against them slightly was a couple of little injuries. Look, to be fair, they've lost their 2 centre backs. Their 2 main centre backs. That's not easy for any team. And I'm just not sure if their squad can hold too many injuries compared to 1 or 2 of the other squads in the league. Everyone gets injuries, we know that, but maybe their squad isn't strong enough. But they'd be disappointed with that defeat. Rovers, they hit back well after that defeat. The Pats, I'm not surprised because they weren't bad in that game whatsoever. And you spoke about it earlier on, but at this minute in time, okay, there's a bit of football to be played by them, but they do have that game in hand with Shelbourne, which technically could bring them 3 behind as such at home to Drogheda. But like you said, the wheels are starting to gather pace here, and there's players coming back as well from injury in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, watching the highlight, if it wasn't for Ed McGinty, it could potentially have been a lot more because he did make.
Could have done better actually with, in fairness, with Green's 3rd goal. He kind of sells himself a bit there, does he not?
I think Aaron Green gives him the eyes if he's going to go across and then just sticks it in the near post. But
not that it's a keeper error, but you know what I mean.
I think he's got absolutely no chance for the first goal, and then the second goal, it could have been stopped before it got that far. And I don't think the deflection had much of a say in where the ball was going to end up. But I think throughout the season, Sligo are going to require Ed McGinty at his peak. They get points out of games that they don't play well in. Like we spoke here about how Galway can grind out a 0-0 or go somewhere and nick a 1-0, and the same with Drogheda. And sometimes you require your keeper to make saves in certain moments in games. And I think, as you touched on there, that they've lost their 2 main starting centre half. Max Mata's not hitting the form that he showed before he went to England. As his confidence shot and maybe a bit you don't know. So they're going to rely on their defence. They're going to have to rely on their defence to maybe keep them in games and hopefully maybe get a set piece at the other end and or counter attack forward. They did make a start that we didn't expect them to do. But we always thought that was going to tail off, especially if they did get injuries and suspensions. And look, I think Sligo will be okay this season. I don't think they'll be anywhere near the relegation spots. That I think they will. They probably will at some point be looking over their shoulder, but I think they will be okay. They'll be disappointing on his 2 away games. As 2, 3.
Because I mean, up to the last 2 away games, sorry, they'd only conceded 3 goals, and now all of a sudden it's up to 10 2 games later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's disappointing.
And Shamrock Rovers could have had more of them, honest, as you said. And to be honest, St. Pat's could have had more also. So they've been, the 3-0s haven't flattered, you know what I mean? The Sligo Rovers as such, like, they could have been beaten by more in both games, if I'm honest. So that's probably one thing that John Russell's a bit concerned about, actually.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Ed McGinty in this particular, it would have been a lot more. And you say John Russell will be disappointed that his team are coughing up quite a lot of chances to the top teams, because if they're going to look, Shamrock Rovers and St. Pat's can create chance after chance against any team in the league. Same as Derry when they're on it. but you don't want to be giving them kind of chances to the teams around you because especially if they were to maybe go and play like Galway or Drogheda, they will take the chances as well, same as but Bohemians could now. Alan Reynolds seems to be getting his feet under the table there, and you see Bo starting to push up the table and get results. Maybe go to Sligo and get a win, and Sligo will. I think he will be this. John Russell will be disappointed, but he'll be sending them, probably send them. Look how we played over the first 7, 8 games. We could still do is we just need to dig deep and stick together.
I think they've 2 home matches in a row now. That's going to be crucial to them as well. If they can get
Yeah,
back on the horse at the showgrounds, like, you know.
yeah. As we say, like home form is always
Yeah.
always critical. The any ambitions in the league, and um, you go away then and maybe sneak a win somewhere. As we say, Derry their ambition is to win the league this year. They're 4 wins out of 5 at home, and no wins away from home, and it just if you're not on it away from home, you could find yourself chasing your target. And, look, I don't know what Sligo's target will be this year. Maybe they'll be looking at maybe finishing 5th, 6th, or whatever, which they are. But they just want to get back to what they were doing over the first 6, 7 games, and really just try and maintain themselves in that position as the season goes on.
Yeah, before we end, we'll give our prediction in this particular show. Monday in mind, Bohemians are playing Dundalk at Dalymount. So, yeah, I'll go with this one, I think, maybe first. But I think it's one of them where balls kind of they have to win it nearly, you know, that kind of way, because you know, you can come out in a Dublin derby against Shelbourne and the intensity can be high, particularly when you lose at home to Shelbourne, you know what I mean, previously. So can they get to even close to those levels at home to Dundalk? Dundalk, as we said before, I can't see them scoring in this game. Maybe 1 goal at max, you know, but it's a difficult one for Dundalk. Can they get to some of the levels as such, even that to the way they did against Pats? Not that it was brilliant, but you know what I mean, it was better. But Bows, it's a big game for them, but it's mad to think it's an opportunity for them to go second in the table, which is crazy to think. I think they might nick it though, Bows 1-0 JP, but wouldn't surprise me if Dundalk got a point.
I think Bose, I think they're touched on it there. Alan Reynolds starting to get his feet under the table at them. And I seen it. You seen it against the performance against Shelbourne, how they dig deep over the first 20 minutes. But we weren't surprised that they came away with the win, and they got the 2 goals in a quick succession. And I think they'll carry that into this game. I think they've got that good win over Shelbourne. They can't do what St. Pat's did and go and not win against Dundalk. And I think they will. I think they'll win this maybe 2-0.
So you go for 2-0, I'll go for 1-0. We'll leave it there. Guys at home, let us know what you think in the comments. What did you think of the games of the weekend? Any of the talking points? Please subscribe, and we'll see you later. Thanks, JP.
Thanks, Steve.